The year 2020 was a year like no other else, with a presidential election like no other else. This is Chris's Barbershop, Piqua, Ohio, small town America. Let's find out what the locals think about the upcoming election.
I've been barbering for 16 years now. I'm voting for Trump because I think he's the man for the job.
Absolutely he is.
I think people are more involved in politics now than what they've ever been. You try not to do anything to upset customers or lose any customers, so you kind of just go with the flow. Most of my customers are Trump supporters. So coronavirus, when that came about back in March, they actually shut barbershops down for 8 weeks. Being self-employed, I don't cut any hair, I don't make any money. So for 8 weeks, I didn't cut any hair, therefore I didn't make any money. It was, devastating. We're back in the swing of things, and 6 months later, people were still scared to come out of their house. I think it's mostly because it's media driven. They tell you stay home, stay safe, stay home, stay safe. But when you stay home, what's the number one activity you do? You watch TV, right? So then it's a vicious cycle. And my clientele, I'm probably about 75% of where I was before the coronavirus. I have two young children, 6 years old and 2 years old. Of course, your number one concern, anybody's, is their kids. Yeah, and you really don't want to put any sign when you're a business owner.
Right,
you don't want to put any signs in your yard because half of your customers may be one way, the other half may be one way. Now all of a sudden your business
You're just alienated half of your business. Yep.
Absolutely.
And like you said, when you're already down to 75% of your pre-COVID clientele,
right.
Now if you chop that in half, now you're down to 35, 40%, and it's like, at that point you can't pay the bills. Well, of course, when you're going to spend your money to support local businesses, you want to support local businesses that have the same views and ideology that you have. So to go someplace that I know supports Trump, because I agree, I think he's the man for the job. I think it's time to get these career politicians out of there. And so to support a business that supports those same values that I have, that's absolutely where I'm going to spend my money. Trump has been in business for years. And to build business, I think those are the workers, those are the people that you need to build businesses. So I think he's seen over his lifetime where the majority of the Americans are, and I think he figured that out. That's how he won the election. I think he figured out that he's not going to go pander to his rich friends and win an election, and he needed to really connect and to understand what middle America is, what the middle class is, and those are the people that he really needed to understand and support to have a chance to win an election. And he proved that he won the support of the majority of those people. That's how he won.
He also has a backbone, and he can't be bought.
He didn't get into politics to get rich like everybody else did. He got into politics to make a change, in my opinion. So
he actually cares about America.
He said he didn't need to become president. He had money, he had fame, he had everything that really people normally get from
being
going after. I think that he saw that our country was in a bad place, that our economy could do better. And as a businessman, there's no better person to fix your economy than a successful businessman. That's these politicians don't. They don't understand all that stuff. They claim they do, but they just seem to be out of touch and out of reality. The majority of the American people are not wealthy. They live paycheck to paycheck. Even some of them, don't even make it to their next paycheck. And it's like the politicians don't seem to understand. They don't care about that.
We have to pay for our own health care. We don't have a lifetime of free health care. If they had to pay the same health care we had to, it would be totally different than what it is right now.
It's no different than with retirement. When you retire, you're going to draw your Social Security. They draw their pay their entire life. Nobody else gets that. Why do politicians get that?
How do they go into office making $250,000, $350,000 a year and they end up with multi-million-dollar mansions?
Yes. I can't remember who it was, but there was a quote from years ago that the only way you get rich in politics is by being a criminal. And I firmly believe that is true. Democrats complained about Trump, that he supposedly said that before they gave Ukraine the aid, that they wanted to investigate Joe Biden's son to get that aid. And they're saying, he was withholding that aid in return of a favor. But what are the Democrats doing by withholding the stimulus money, by wanting different things thrown into there? They're holding the American people hostage. Mm-hmm. People that haven't worked in 8 weeks, like your situation.
Absolutely.
And, have children and families that they're trying to support. And the Democrats don't care about those people because they are so out of touch with what the normal people, the normal person, the normal Ohioan goes through, that they don't get that. That's why for them, if we don't get our $25 million for the Kennedy Center or whatever it is, we're not giving you your $1,200 stimulus money. How is that any different than them claiming what Trump did to Ukraine by saying, hey, you should investigate this? It's all the same. They all complain about the other side, but they all do the same things they complain about. And I firmly believe that that's one of the things that with the coronavirus, they saw that the American people were divided on the coronavirus. It's just like the different things with the different political groups, your Antifa and your Proud Boys and BLM and all those different things. And the reason the media and the politicians, in my opinion, keep pushing all of those different things, and it's not just, it's anything that the American people have a difference of opinion on. When they push those, and they keep pushing those, because it keeps the American people divided. If all of the American people, like you said, would get together and have the same beliefs and kind of stick together on issues, those career politician criminals would be in so much trouble. Because that would be, then you would have the numbers of the American people to actually enact some change. So they don't want the American people. They don't want them unified.
They don't want us to get along.
No, not at all. That's the reason. Anytime they see something, like I said, like these different things with Antifa, the Proud Boys, BLM, Trump versus Biden and the coronavirus. It's because, it's the coronavirus the same way. You've got your people that are like pro-mask, and if you don't wear a mask, you're the devil. And you got people that are like, the mask is the devil. And so they feed off of that stuff. That's the whole thing, is to keep those people divided.
Divide and conquer.
Absolutely.
Yeah, they can't get over the fact that Trump won.
Yep. And how many people are there video clips out there of politicians and actors and famous people? And it's hilarious because there's literally hundreds of them. They're like, when the election went on in 2016, Trump will never win. Donald Trump will never be president. Donald Trump will never be president. This is
What about all the celebrities that were going to move to Canada?
Yes. And I still see all of them still here saying the same thing this time. It's that whole generation of, and I personally hate the term, but there's no other way to describe it than the participation trophy era. If you don't get your way, you pout, you want to take your ball and go home, you want to throw a fit, you want to impeach the guy that just won the election. I mean, that's that whole, like I said, the participation trophy mentality, that if you don't get your way, you throw a fit and kick and scream and cry, and it's
ever since day one they've been trying to get him out of office.
Yes.
And they've been trying different things with the impeachment, and who knows if the coronavirus is a political thing. We may never know.
Absolutely.
That could be an angle that they're using too.
Right, because as you said, that's destroyed our economy. That's destroyed people's livelihoods, and that was the golden trophy that Trump he had built our economy into something that we have never seen before.
Yep.
Unemployment rates at all-time low.
Correct.